Hey, movie fans. So the first topic I'm going to talk about is Samara Weaver has been officially cast as Emma Frost for the MCU X-Men Reboot. I think this is great news and a great casting choice. I love her in the Ready or Not movies. I think she's a great actress, and I think she will make a great Emma Frost. Like for me, Emma Frost hasn't been done well in live acting yet. She was in the X-Men Origins Wolverine movie, and she was in X-Men First Class, played by Jeremy Jones. And neither of those interpretations, in my opinion, were great interpretations of the Emma Frost character. I feel like the Frost never did her character well. And I'm hoping we get a great Emma Frost because I think her story is great in the comics when it comes to her being a villain, turning good, and you have a whole love story with Cyclops. I think there's really a lot you could explore there. And I think Sammy Weaver, like I said, is a great actress. So for me, I think she's going to be a great Emma Frost, and it's exciting to get the first casting announcement for this MCU X-Men reboot. I'm really excited for the film because of the fact you have the director who did Thunderbolts, which I love Thunderbolts. So to me, this has me exciting this casting choice, and I'm curious which other X-Men characters we're going to see in this X-Men reboot. The next topic I want to talk about is the actress who was in the big hit Obsession this year. She also played Lana Lang's daughter in the Superman Lois show. Has been talking to the Thunderbolts director about maybe trying to get a role in an X-Men movie, and she said her dream role would be Mystique. I think this is just exciting, the fact that she's been talking to Marvel and the Thunderbolts director, because I think she will make a great casting choice for Mystique, and I also think she would make a great casting choice for any X-Men character or any Marvel character. Like if she got her dream role as Mystique, I would be excited for that. Or if she just got cast as any X-Men character or any Marvel character, I would be excited for that because of the fact that she's a great actress. I loved her in Superman and Lois, and she was fantastic in that movie Obsession. One of my favorite horror films of the year. Her performance in that movie is just one of the best performances in a film this year. So I love the fact that she's been talking to Marvel, and I hope she does get cast, whether it be in the X-Men movie or just in a Marvel movie. I would love to see her be in a comic movie because she's just a great actress. I also love the fact that she said she loved the Thunderbolts movie, how character driven it was. But I think I love hearing that because I love the Thunderbolts movie, and I think the MCU has been kind of getting back on track quality wise. Like for me, Fantastic Four First Steps, Thunderbolts, Wonder Man. I feel like the MCU is starting to get back to those type of movies, character driven movies. So the fact she loved Thunderbolts also, I think that's just really cool to hear. And I hope this leads to her being cast in the X-Men reboot as some X-Men character, or just appear in or to have her cast in a Marvel movie would be great too. So, like I said, for me, when it comes to casting, there's nothing wrong with adding talent, and to me, she's a talented actress. So I will love to see her get some type of role in the X Men reboot. Whether it be as Mystique or just some other X Men character. The next topic I'm going to talk about is Mahershala Ali. It's been confirmed that he is not going to be playing Blade. This version of the Blade character, the Blade movie that he was going to be part of, has been canceled. He basically said, if we wanted to do the Blade movie, Marvel would have done it with me. They didn't want to do it with me, and it does sound like he's a little bitter, which I can understand that. I mean, he was announced as Blade back in 2019 at Comic-Con, and I can understand why he'd be a little bitter because it's been 7 years since then, and this version of Blade, they went through multiple writers. They've been, I think, through a few directors. And it just sucks they never were able to get this project going. And look, I wanted them not do this project if they don't feel like the script wasn't good. I wanted them not just put out a Blade movie for the sake of it if they don't feel like they have a really good script. Because I know Kevin Feige has talked about he's trying to get back to a quality of post. And it just sounds like they never could figure out the script for this version of Blade. And it sucks to hear this because Mahershala Ali is a great actor, and I think he would have made an awesome Blade. Also, the fact that it's been 7 years since he was announced and he is getting older. So I had a feeling that he wasn't going to be Blade since they just never could get this movie going, get the script right. So it just sucks to hear. I can understand why he sounds a little bitter about the fact that they kept him waiting for 7 years and they just never seemed to get the script to where they wanted it. But who knows how why that happened. I would definitely say this is the biggest fumble for Marvel Studios, in my opinion, at least for me, because I love the character of Blade, and when you had such an actor of caliber like Mahershala Ali, where you went like, oh man, he would have made a perfect Blade. And I can understand why Kevin Feige feels like a loser and why he feels like he messed up with this, because I do think this is the biggest fumble of Marvel Studios, especially like one of the biggest casting fumbles, because you had such a great actor, and I would have loved to have seen him as Blade. Now, do I think this means we're never going to get a Blade movie? I don't believe that, in the sense that I think this version of Blade, we're not going to get Mahershala Ali as Blade. I do think 5-7 years later, though, I do think they'll take another shot at a Blade movie with a new actor. Like, I don't think this means we're never going to get a Blade movie at all in the future. I do think like 5-7 years later, I don't think anytime soon, I do think they'll like take another shot at a Blade movie with a new actor, obviously, but it won't be with Mahershala Ali, and it just sucks to see that, because like I said, he's a fantastic actor, and I totally understand that he's talking about how he's moved on, he's been doing other projects, and they just he can't keep waiting around from all the studios to get the script rights, and it just it sucks to hear that. At the same time, I want Marvel Studios not just put out a Blade movie just for the sake of it if they don't feel like they have a good story Blade wise for a movie. So it sucks to hear this. Sucks that we won't get to see him as Blade, because I think he would have been, like I said, a fantastic Blade. The last topic I'm going to talk about is, so I thought this is really interesting. There's 2 Nightmare on Elm Street reboots like being worked on. Like, we already know about that Paramount announced they're working on a Nightmare on Elm Street reboot. Apparently Warner Brothers is too. They're working on a reboot where it says in a report that Lee Crone, who directed the latest Mommy movie, who directed Evil Dead Rise, is going to write, produce, and direct the movie. And I just think this is really interesting, because Paramount, is trying to buy Warner Brothers, where I know it's been delayed right now. They're trying to buy Warner Brothers to take over, and it's very interesting with the fact that they both are working on a Nightmare movie when Paramount is trying to buy Warner Brothers, and who knows if that actually goes through, if they end up merging and Paramount gets Warner Brothers. Like, last I heard, it's been delayed right now, so I'm curious if this merger is going to happen or not. It's just very interesting that both studios, and you have the one studio buying that studio, that they're both working on a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, and I'm curious like which one is going to happen, with the fact that you have both of them being reboots, and the one with Warner Bros. With Lee Crone, I think that would be actually an exciting choice to write and direct. Like, I didn't love his Mommy movie. I thought that was terrible, and just basically felt like him doing an Evil Dead movie again. I loved Evil Dead Rise though, so if it's like more like Evil Dead Rise when it comes to the quality, then I think he would make a great choice for a Nightmare movie. I just think this is really interesting though, that you have like two different companies working on a Nightmare movie, with one company looking like they're going to be merging with that company. So I'm curious which Nightmare movie is actually going to come out and get made. So I think that's just really interesting. Another interesting fact about this whole thing going on, with the fact that there's two Nightmare reboot movies in the works from Paramount and Warner Brothers. When it comes to Warner Brothers working on one and Paramount working on one, is the fact that it says in a report that Paramount has the distribution rights, and then Warner Brothers has, I believe, the international rights, I believe. So I think that's also like another factor in this, that they both own different rights to the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. So again, I'm like, this is just really interesting news when it comes to, I wonder which reboot is actually going to get made. Like, with Warner Brothers, they have a director with Lee Crone, which I think that would make an interesting choice to write, produce, and direct a Nightmare movie. And if that one ends up coming out, I hope it's more the quality of Evil Dead Rise, not the Mommy. So I think this is just like interesting news, and definitely curious which Nightmare movie is actually going to get made, because of the fact you have Paramount trying to buy Warner Brothers. So that's all the movie topics today. Until next time, movie fans, see you later.